Closed captioning for the Casey Malone Show is sponsored by Hunter Stevens Land Title Agency. Integrity, service, and commitment you can trust.
Oh yeah, Casey Malone is serving up local. It's time for the stories of our region, the tastes, the sights, the sounds, and the people in and around the valley. Get ready for some local flavor on the Casey Malone Show.
Today we visit the Ford Nature Museum in Mill Creek Park, and I prepare salt and vinegar pickled potato salad. But first, my special correspondents, Radar and Scott, attend the Mahoning Valley Corvette Car Show.
Now joining us is Corvette Sam Cecilia. But these are also my Scott's and my old friends from Purple Cat, let alone Golden String and Golden String Radio. And one of them over here is Miss Kristen Seidler. Kristen, how excited are you being at this Corvette Car Show?
I'm so excited. I've been looking forward to this day for a long time, Radar.
And now the man of the moment, Corvette Sam Cecilia. How much have you raised for your charity over the past 30 years?
Last year, we gave $11,800 and some dollars. 100% of that goes to all local charities. This year, we'll give well over $15,000. And I just would like to know, I'd like everyone to know that Gabbett Camp and Purple Cat will be our top car show sponsor. And then Second Harvest will follow that. And after that, we'll be giving many more dollars to local businesses.
Corvette Sam, what are some of the most valuable, unique, collectible vehicles that you've had over the past 30 years?
Well, boy, we can talk for hours now, but I want to make this short. One of my love is right back here. I've got a 1978 Corvette Pace car, and it's the very first Corvette, the Pace Indy 500, and I'm 47 years old, and people are going to laugh when I say this, but it's never been in rainwater and it's never been washed. So maybe I'll stop on that one.
Hello everybody, Scott Mincher here for the Casey Malone Show, and I'm here with Adrian and Chet Amedia today at this great car show. And I guess first off, I wanted to say I just absolutely love this car. Cream is one of my new favorite colors. Just tell me about the color of the car and what it means to you.
This car color was the original 1953 Corvette color, and all 300 of them that year were cream. The next year, which is this 54, 85% of the cars were cream colored.
That about does it. Thank you guys so much.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Our pleasure. Thank you.
And with me is Donnie B. He is one of the fabled car collectors who's anywhere. And now Donnie B. What vehicle is this?
It's a 2011 smart car made by Mercedes-Benz from Germany.
Would you be willing to sell this car in?
Not right now. No, I'd like to show it off for a few more years. As long as the man above gives me a few more years left, I show it off.
What do you love about your car?
Everything, because it's all military: Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine Corps, and that's it. And if you really walk around this vehicle, you'll see how well it's put together.
Donnie B, do you have other vehicles that you have restored, and if so, why?
I did. I just sold a 76 Pinto that I had. A fella wanted it more than I did.
Yeah, collected?
It was a collector item, yeah, and I let it go.
Thank you very much, Donnie B. And
yes, sir.
All right, we're here with Raymond. What type of orange and brown Corvette car is this? I might ask.
So it's a 2004, and that was the last year of the hideaway headlights. And it's just my personal preference. A Corvette isn't a Corvette unless it has the hideaway headlights. So it's 2004. It was red with a cream color top, cream interior when I bought it.
How were you able to decide that you wanted to go with Bradshaw getting slammed by Turkey Jones over Myles Garrett hitting Mason Rudolph in the head?
So as you can see, I went for all the iconic poses and whatnot. And in my mind, Langhorne and Slaughter doing a high five was one, and most definitely Turkey Jones planting Bradshaw into the turf was my other classical moment. So yeah.
I can respect that a lot. I actually just bought a Slaughter Langhorne high five poster for my room. So
okay, I'm up to 80. I'm over 80 autographs, Cleveland Brown autographs on it now. So yeah, I would never sell it.
80 autographs. That's kind of a bit incredible.
This car, best car I've ever seen, and thank you for your time with us.
Bring it in, man. Bring it in, man. Thank you.
This is Marianne Porinchek, the director of the Packard Museum, which is based out in Warren. Now, Marianne is bringing Packards to this fabulous car show from that Packard Hall in Warren. Museum, I should say. Now, Marianne, tell us a little bit about the innovations that Packard Motors have made over the years.
So many innovations, so many things that we take for granted today. Do you know the windshield wiper is one of them? The glove compartment. Packard was the first to put a steering wheel on the car. Prior to that, it was just a tiller like on a wagon. The first to put air conditioning in. The first to have a foot pedal accelerator. So all of this technology, all of these things that we just take for granted in a car today came from Warren, Ohio in the early 1900s. They only built cars in Warren from 1899 to 1903, but in that time, they had a huge impact on the automotive industry, and it still exists today. Your H-pattern gear shift that's on all the lawn tractors, that came from Packard. That was one of their very early innovations. So come down to the museum and see what we have. We have cars from 1900 through 1956.
And one of those cars you're at right now is a 1937 T-Mobile, I'm guessing?
120 convertible coupe is what it's called.
120 convertible coupe.
And I would like to say one other thing. Our car club is fabulous. The people in our club are so generous. As you see today, there's not one or two people can do this. It takes a group, a lot of hard work, and a lot of good people, and we're fortunate enough to have them.
Do you have a favorite memory or a couple favorite memories from this event going back 30 years?
Yeah, there are so many memories, but favorite I probably wouldn't want to say because there's so many favorites. I wouldn't want to hurt anyone else's feelings, but and I'm standing next to, in fact, he joined our club, and we all know this young fella, Steven. But people like him and you guys, this is very important to all of us to do this, and we're proud to do it.
The Casey Malone Show will be right back with more local flavor.
MyMe Global is your premier local resource for all things 3D. At MyMe, we make 3D portraits of you, your pets, and cake toppers. Or witness your child's growth year over year and get their graduation MyMe for free. Photos don't last, but a MyMe lasts a lifetime. Visit the MyMe store, located in the Round Glass building on Belmont. Get your own 3D printer, where we assemble, repair, and get it running right. We even give you a discount on materials. At MyMe, we know 3D.
It's patio season at Carmela's. Enjoy our family's traditional Italian favorites and creative daily specials. We're open for lunch and dinner Monday through Saturday. Carmela's on Western Reserve Road in Boardman.
Hi, I'm Robbie Fellman. And I'm John Stanko from Boardman Subaru, home of the 2025 Subaru Crosstrek and Subaru Outback.
The Crosstrek has earned a 5-star safety rating and is a 2-time Car and Driver Editor's Choice.
And the Outback is an IHS top safety pick and a 6-time Editor's Choice winner.
Both paired with the best customer satisfaction for dealership service in the industry.
Award-winning vehicles and award-winning service at Boardman Subaru,
just south of Route 224 on South Avenue.
Weight loss goals aren't one size fits all. At Hurricane Health and Wellness, we understand the struggle. We've been there too. That's why we offer the most popular, effective weight loss medications at an affordable price. Look and feel your best today with Hurricane Health and Wellness.
You already know us for our top-tier windows, but what about our advanced gutter systems? With our Double Pro gutter filtration, 2 layers of industrial-grade aluminum keeps debris out of your gutters and drives rainwater away from your home. Plus, our continuous hanger technology reinforces your entire gutter system for maximum strength and drainage. And we'll install it all in as little as 1 day. Why wait for the next storm to get gutters that perform? Not only do we stand behind our gutters, we hang on them.
You better come on in my kitchen.
I'm about to make one of the most interesting potato salads ever. I am a really big fan of salt and vinegar potato chips. And lately, everything has pickles in it. And they now have like pickle flavored potato chips, which are excellent. And I have put them both together in a potato salad called salt and vinegar pickled potato salad. And it's very few ingredients. Absolutely everything is in your pantry, except maybe the fresh dill. But that really adds a more pickly flavor to it. And it's really easy, and you don't have to worry about the mayonnaise or any of that stuff. So I really think you're gonna like this dish. So let's get started and we'll go over the ingredients. For this recipe, you'll need 3 pounds of yellow or Yukon Gold potatoes, scrubbed and not peeled, 1 red onion sliced thin, then cut into half moons, 6 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, 2½ teaspoons of kosher salt, 1/2 teaspoon of sugar, 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, and 1/2 cup of chopped dill pickles, and 1/4 cup of chopped dill fronds. First thing we're gonna do is pickle the red onion. It really adds a nice different flavor to this potato dish. So what I'm gonna do is 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, and then 1/2 teaspoon of sugar. Not a lot, just enough to, make an impact. And then 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And we're gonna mix this together and let it sit for about half hour, 45 minutes. But it really does soften up nicely, and it mellows the real sharpness of the red onion, and it really adds a nice flavor dimension to this potato salad. All right, so the potatoes are now cool enough to handle. They boiled for about 15, 16 minutes. You don't want to be too hard, but you don't want them to be too soft. These are just right. So now all I'm gonna do is cut them into bite-sized pieces. And there's not a lot of water in them because I kept the skin on. And you see they're pretty firm and stuck together because a lot of water did not get in them. All right, so our potatoes are still warm and they're cut into nice, bite-sized chunks, about 1 inch or so. And now we're gonna dress it while it's still warm because then it really sucks in all the flavor. So we have the olive oil, and we have the salt, and then the vinegar. So I'm just gonna whip these together, get this nice and emulsified. And then we are just gonna pour this over these potatoes, and it'll suck it right up. I mean, it really will suck up this juice. And we'll just, turn this to let it all mix together. And you don't want to break up the potatoes. That's why I'm using a larger wooden spoon. So now that looks good, doesn't it? I mean, right now, I could eat this. Love potatoes, love vinegar. When I have French fries, I always use vinegar. I don't really use ketchup. But now, we are going to see how nicely the onions, they really did mellow. And there's a little bit of juice left in there. So we are just gonna throw all the onions in and get those distributed throughout. I'm gonna tell you, these onions really are good. Love onions. And these pickles, are these adorable? I use the little baby gherkins and I just sliced them, and they're so cute. And they're dill. Now, I don't really care for the sweet or bread and butter pickles, but if that is the pickle you prefer, use that. If that's the pickle you prefer, I'm gonna say that 3 times fast. And then last but not least, these wonderful dill fronds. Because you could serve this warm, you can serve this at room temperature, but I'll tell you, the next day, it's delicious too if you serve it cold. So after you mix it all together, adjust the seasonings. If you think it needs a little more vinegar, fix that, or salt. But I think if it needs more salt or pepper, because I didn't put any pepper in it, you can always pass that at the table. And I did a little taste, and I've got to tell you, this is an excellent batch. I mean, it's really good. Make sure you grab a little of the onion, a little of the pickle. A lot of the dough. It is so savory, and it's so good, and there's no mayo. So it can sit out, and it's perfect for, you know, tailgates, football season, or, you know, just dinner any night of the week. And I think a really nice pairing with this is a real dry Sauvignon Blanc. This one is so reasonably priced. Excelsior, it's from South Africa. And I think this will go really well with my little pickly salad here. Delicious. So, for this recipe, it is my salt and vinegar pickled potato salad. Say that 5 times fast. Just go to my website, CaseyMaloneShow.com. Look for this recipe. You are going to love it. Promise. Cheers.
Take off with the Casey Malone Show. Woohoo!
This is GABA Camp, barrier-free camping and nature for our friends with disabilities. Thank you for your generous donations. We now have our first phase, but more work needs to be done. A lodge will provide a meeting place and food service for our adults with disabilities and their families. GABA Camp is a 501c3 organization. We need your help to grow. Donate to GABA Camp. Given is living.
Mara, we want to help you find a ring that's as unique as your love. We'll guide you through the entire process, from deciding between natural and lab-grown diamonds, discovering the perfect stone, to finding the setting that fits your style. And with our in-store repair services, we'll make sure your ring looks stunning for years to come. Whether you're looking for timeless elegance or a modern twist, we'll work with you and your price range to find the perfect ring.
Get real, get Kamara.
I'm Elizabeth Bernard. For more than 30 years, I've provided our Valley with sound legal advice. My associate Jennifer Rigetti and I will be your legal representatives if you're involved in a car, truck, or motorcycle accident. Don't try to handle it yourself. We'll navigate the red tape of dealing with doctors, medical insurance, and all the obstacles that you'll face. Remember, there are no upfront fees on personal injury cases, and hiring a lawyer does not mean you have to go to court.
Call attorney Elizabeth Bernard, local legal experience for more than 30 years.
Locally sourced is good, whether it's ingredients or a bank, and that's why my bank is Farmers National Bank. Since 1887, Farmers has remained rock solid through every economic condition. Having a bank with a history of safety, soundness, and conservative management is a must. It all boils down to this. You need a bank that will help you reach your goals. I do too, and Farmers is mine. Farmers National Bank, rock solid.
Hi, I'm Michael Senchak, and First Light Home Care is trusted by local, state, and national veteran organizations to arrange needed services for local vets. Most of these services come at no cost to the individual. Our goal is simple: to offer the services you need to stay in your home. This may include assistance with mobility, bathing, personal care, and meal preparation.
We are proud to serve our local veteran heroes. Thank you for your service and for trusting our family to take care of yours for over 10 years.
Justin Rogers is the Director of Planning and Operations for the Mill Creek Metro Parks. And he is joining me now at the Ford Nature Center, which has been newly renovated. Right. And we are down here in the exhibit room. As a resident of the city of Youngstown, my entire life. This is one of those places that you just take for granted. You know, I've always known about the park, but this brings it to another level.
The Ford Nature Center is created core memories for a lot of the visitors since we opened in this location in 1972. And it's important. It's a staple of the city of Youngstown, Mill Creek Park, the Idora neighborhood. So we really wanted to, breathe some new life into it with new exhibits, new displays, new interactive opportunities, and bring in a whole new user group and generations to appreciate what we do have here.
It is really modernized, even though it is such a historic building.
Correct.
So who was the first family that actually built and resided in this home?
So the home was built for Charles S. Robinson. And at the time, he was vice president for Youngstown Sheet and Tube and served as a commissioner for what was then the Youngstown Township Park District, Mill Creek Park. And that was in 1913. And the structure was designed by Charles Owsley, who was a prominent local architect that has a lot of buildings downtown as well. So the Robinson family owned the house and the residence through 1954 when the Judge John Ford family purchased the house. And then in 1968, the family of Judge Ford donated the house and 12 acres adjacent to Mill Creek Park to Mill Creek Park.
How many acres are there right now in Mill Creek Metro Park?
So Mill Creek Metro Parks is an organization serving the entirety of Mahoning County. Is just over 5,000. 2 years ago, we got over 5,000 acres with our recent acquisitions. Mill Creek Park is about 2,600 with 1,600 of those acres north of 224, the developed park area.
As you were planning this renovation, because it took 3 years, what was your goals? Because there's a lot going on inside this home.
Sure.
And then on the outside, what did you really want to accomplish?
There was a multifaceted approach. So you touched upon, the history of the building and the site. We wanted to preserve that. The balance of the preservation on the exterior and the interior. You come in, it was still a residence.
Yes.
But now we've made it more functional. Accessibility was a huge goal of ours, not just in the physical sense of bringing different able-bodied people to in here, but serving different groups, being inclusive with what we're offering, giving all ages opportunity to experience nature in some capacity, and tying that all together. We want Ford to be kind of the starting place, that hub for nature education.
Right.
We want people to come in and say, hey, learn a little bit about this, a little bit about that, but pique their interest, and then send them out into Mill Creek Park, into nature to go observe things firsthand for themselves.
These are all wildflowers, and these are all from our region.
Correct. So we have 27 different native grasses or forbs, wildflowers, that we utilized in this.
And then this is all a new addition where we are.
So to preserve the look of the building, we didn't really want to add or change the frontage. So our solution was to build below and out the back of the building. So we actually had to dig down probably about 4 feet and then out the back to add this new feature, to add that public square footage. We have a new enclosed bird observation.
That is a very cool room.
Where you have access to eBird and to find a lot of information about birds. Judge Ford's wife started bird clubs and having people over. So one of the displays in the history room is actually journals of birds that were identified here decades ago.
And then I really like the rooftop garden that is above us.
So a lot of those species, they're primarily sedum and allium. They don't require a lot of water, and the installation was great. We used trays that have more of a rocky substrate, and we put them in. We'll fertilize it earlier in the year, later in the year, but as you can see, the display is just sensational right now.
I mean, it really looks amazing from the back, because then there is a all-access path.
Correct.
That everyone can take.
Right. The Virginia Axeman Trail for All Peoples was constructed in the 80s, but like a lot of things, it lost a little bit of focus and attention. So that was definitely an integral part of this project, to resurface, open up some new vistas, We're going to continually be incorporating native trees and shrubs throughout. So again, what you see in the displays, you can walk out and see firsthand in nature.
And then tell me about the garage, the carriage house, or I guess it was a carriage house originally, right?
Correct. So that was another solution to add publicly accessible space to the Nature Center. We've designated our education building. It used to be 3 floors. We took out the top, so we have, you know, a floor-to-ceiling display, classroom. We have our taxidermy in the top, and then below we.
I noticed that when I was looking around. What were the biggest challenges?
We were renovating a century-plus-year-old home. You know, that, yes, it served in a public capacity, but not much had been modernized. So, you know, a lot of the work the general public won't see is bringing utilities up to standards, bringing in adequate internet service, things of that nature. You know, when we dug down in the basement, we came upon a sandstone formation. But we took that challenge as an opportunity, and now it's one of our most prominent exhibits. We have a 300 million year old sandstone outcropping in the basement.
So cool.
Yeah.
And then you worked around it.
We did.
Because you couldn't move it.
No, it would have cost a lot.
That is very, very interesting. Yeah. And do you find, because I know I do this, that I just take this park for granted, and when you get your visitors, where are they mainly from? Are they locals, or are you getting a lot of out-of-towners?
We get everything, and I think it's the people that had been here maybe as a 4th grader walking through, and they had that core memory, so they knew what it looked like, they knew how it functioned. They're coming back maybe with their kids.
You can't imagine that this is all right around us, free of charge.
Right, and whether it's Ford or Fellows Riverside Gardens or the Metro Parks Farm, it's really the tip of the iceberg as to what the Metro Parks offers. So, you know, our focus here is nature education. One of the objectives was bringing together all of our educators so they can work out of this space and really promote what we do have. So whether people are local and appreciate the park, don't know exactly what we have to offer,
come on,
or you're a visitor, this is a great place to start.
The Casey Malone Show is sponsored in part by Denise and John York and the DeBartolo Corporation.